So, you just got your brand new job as an industrial maintenance technician, and you're not really sure what to expect. Well, I'm going to kind of talk about it today, kind of go through what your duties will be, and kind of little tips and tricks, things you should learn, things you should have on hand. I think the first thing we should start with is how physically demanding this job can actually be at times. You're going to be picking up heavy things. You're going to be pushing, pulling, lifting. Sometimes you're going to be picking up big barrels of grease. You're going to be carrying bearings around, transporting motors and gearboxes, and you're going to be activating a lot of muscles that your body isn't used to using. So it's a good idea to stretch before your work day, even if it's day 1 or day 100. Make sure you stretch out your muscles, get yourself warmed up in the morning so you're prepared for the day. And there's nothing worse than pulling a muscle at work. Another thing you're going to notice is how many tools you're actually going to need. There's countless specialty tools that you can buy that's going to help you make the job go by faster and easier. There's also your standard tools, right? You're going to need metric and standard sockets. You're going to need air impacts or pneumatic impacts. You're going to need battery operated impacts. You're going to need grinders. You're going to need screwdrivers. You're going to need the whole works, right? If you're just starting off and you don't have all these things, I would suggest get the bare necessities, right? Get you a good set of screwdrivers. Get you a pair of channel locks. Get you a crescent wrench. Get you your basic toolkit first, and then when you start making, your paychecks, you can start investing more into your tools. Make sure you're investing in your tools, because really it's investing in yourself. It helps you become a better technician when you have the right tools to get the job done. I know tools are expensive, but over time you will acquire all the tools that you're going to need. So don't stress out if you don't have everything right away. Another thing you're going to notice is how many pieces of equipment there actually are in your facility. Everything is ran by a motor. There's a VFD associated with it. There's places to lock out. There's belts, pulleys. There's countless rollers, and there's just a lot of pieces of equipment that you're going to have to learn how to fix, especially if you're new to it. You should be learning your facility. Learn how everything works. Learn the flow of whatever product you're making or manufacturing. Learn where it starts and where it ends. And that's going to help you better yourself as a technician as well. If you have any questions, make sure you ask the other people on your crew, how do you fix this? Why are you fixing this? What happened? Especially if they put you with someone to shadow for a little while, it's always good to ask questions. Countless questions. You can never go wrong asking questions. There is no such thing as a stupid question, in my opinion. I remember when I first started, I was asking countless questions. And you're not going to remember all this knowledge all at once, but if you keep asking questions and keep working on remembering these things, you're eventually going to get it. Another thing too is the parts room. Some facilities, the parts clerk will actually bring out the parts to you. You ask them what you need and they'll bring it out to you. Some facilities actually have an open style parts room to where a technician can go inside and grab what they need, write it up on a part slip or let the parts guy or girl know that you're taking this part, however your system works, right? So make sure you go inside the parts room and look around. Familiarize yourself with where everything is located, right? Where is your belt wall? Where do they keep all the belts? Where do they keep the bearings? Where's the gearboxes? Where's the motors? Where's the big belts? It's going to help you in the long run if you familiarize yourself with the parts room. You're also going to notice that being a maintenance technician, your job sometimes is going to be in a high-paced environment, right? If something goes down, get it running. Now, it's going to be a little stressful at first, but I would suggest just breathe and take your time. Make sure you're troubleshooting the equipment, figuring out what's wrong, what you need to change, what you need to replace. Make sure you prep out your workstation before you start jumping in and working. Always make sure that you lock out your equipment correctly and you're testing the equipment to make sure there is no stored energy in that equipment. And all this should be covered during your orientation. Make sure that you are learning the processes necessary before you start working on equipment. Another little tip is to actually get with your production people, right? Whoever's operating the equipment, whoever's running whatever is running in your facility, just go stand with them. Go talk to them, how's this work? What are you doing? What speed are you running at? What temperature are you running that at? It helps you as a mechanic, figure out how the equipment is supposed to be running, so when it's not running, you can better troubleshoot items. That's going to be a big thing, is learning how to troubleshoot if you're not used to this type of work. It's going to be a long process to learn all these little tips and tricks, but eventually you're going to get it. You're also going to notice how loud it is. These facilities run loud, so make sure you're wearing the proper PPE. Make sure you have your safety glasses, your hard hat, your earplugs, and gloves. That's very important, is make sure you are wearing the right PPE. If your facility requires the maintenance people to do any sort of fabrication, it's always a good idea to learn how to weld. If you don't know how to weld, I would suggest you learn. Stay late, ask your supervisor if you can come in a little bit early or stay a little late to start messing with the welder and figuring it out. Ask one of the welders on your crew, if someone knows how to weld, ask them for tips and tricks and just keep practicing, because that's very important. It's not just troubleshooting and fixing, it is also fabrication. You're going to be fabricating handrails, guards, countless things. And make sure you know how to use all these shop tools, right? Learn how to use a torch. Learn what settings you got to put your welder at. Make sure you know how to use a mag drill or a skill saw or a bandsaw. And if you got the experience, then good on you. You're already ahead of the game. But if not, don't let it stress you out. You're going to learn with time. And as long as you ask questions, your crew will be more than happy to help you out. Just make sure that you are retaining this information. If you got to ask the same question 30 times before you get it, ask the question 30 times, as long as you get it. That's all that matters. You're going to also notice sometimes you're going to get called in at night, depending on what the call-out procedure is at your specific facility. You're also going to be staying late sometimes. There's a little layover, right? You might be working 8, 9 hours, you might be on 12-hour shifts, but if something breaks and they need extra guys to help fix it, you're going to be staying late. But that's okay, because that's what we do. We are maintenance. We fix things. So this video is kind of like a broad generalization of what you can expect going into this job. So it's going to be physically demanding. You're going to need a lot of tools and ask a lot of questions. And make sure you're safe. So hopefully you got some knowledge from this video. I know it was a little quick, but I just kind of want to give you a broad generalization of what you can expect from this job. It's going to be a very interesting job. You're going to learn how to use your brain and how to troubleshoot. And for me, that is the best part about it, right? You get to figure out what is broken and how to fix it. So don't be nervous, ask questions, and good luck.